Hey, everybody. You know, I just want to express some gratitude for you guys working so hard, the Flat Earth community and the Hangouts. I love watching the Hangouts. Don't, you know, it's just because hanging out together as Flat Earthers doesn't matter. You can only talk Flat Earth so long if you're convinced. We're just hanging out together, right? Because there's not that many people out there that want to hang with us because we talk about some weird stuff, right? I've been listening to these hangouts and looking up words. And what I'm going to do, guys, I really want to show you that how it is I get to these broken back definitions in words, Hebrew words or Greek words. But in all honesty, it is really long and boring. So I like it's sitting there thinking about a picture I want to paint that takes years to think about before I even get the paint on the canvas. And then it takes years of adding parts to the painting. It's kind of like that. Well, so I'm going to give you a very brief rundown of, oh my gosh, this is my week of words, and that's just 1 week. Here's the next week, and it looks about the same. That's how long it takes me to. So I'm just going to read you the few. I think it was a Mark Sargent or Nathan Oakley, both interviewed, is it Daphne? And I'm sorry I can't remember names right now, but talking about circumcision and foreskin. I had looked that one up a few weeks ago and was kind of jaw-dropped. And I did not write the Hebrew words down. When I study them for you and put it out there, I intend to do that. Circumcised breaks back to a definition of to destroy or cut down. Foreskin, to refrain from using. Okay, I'm going to request that I have intention not to make goofy faces when I'm reading this stuff to you guys. Okay. Let's just go to earthquakes. The name, sometimes I write down the word, sometimes the definition. I just have notes, and I apologize, but seriously, it's like a half a day per word just to get the few. Okay, seismos, that's the Hebrew word. Gravity is where I got going on gravity, planet, time, grave, giants, firmament, moon, Nephilim, space, sun, star, beget, ring, cross, ice, wall. Don't I have wall in here somewhere? Savior, frozen. See, what happens is with the definitions, then you get a new word. And then you go break that word back and you read where that's mentioned in the Bible, and then you read all about in the Bible so you don't take it out of context, right? Yeah. Well, let's see. Gravity was so intense, guys. I'm just not sure I will do justice if I just read the little bits, the notes I have. Okay, space. Let's start with space. Space is, is like between here and here is a space, right? And back when the Bible was written, space was used as a span of time between the sun comes up over here and goes down over here, and that is one space. That's a space. A day. For us, we call it a day, right? And like I said, I'll take the time, you guys, once I get your it's a lot of work to put into it, and well, most likely lose. I don't, I'm not attached to my subscribers. Oh, well, yeah, of course I am. But I'm going to lose them if I go into this too deep, I think. Okay, so space took me to planet. Planet, to drip or rain, as in zodiac constellations. And then it goes back to distinction, right? And then, oh wow, that will take you into gravity. Gravity, Seminoles. You break Seminoles means honorable, grave, and honest. Now think about grave. Grave and gravity. I mean, grave is part of the word gravity, right? So I looked up. Wait. We're still going on gravity here. Then we go back to Sabomahi. To revere, adore, devout, and worship. And that's for gravity. It doesn't say anything about anything we know gravity to be, right? Well, anyway, so let's look up grave, and we get the Hebrew word Sheol, which means hell, or Hades, and which breaks back to Shael, Shael, inquire, request, salute, and wish. See, I'm making those goofy faces. I can't help it. Okay, I'm just going to keep reading these off because they're, it's going to be long anyway. So we read planet, and grave gravity is to be honest and honorable. Keep that in mind. Intense words like if gravity broke back to Seminoles and they talk about gravity in the Bible, then we go and we read, say we want to read the Bible, and we read it with words that have been changed over time into something different for us, right? And gravity is definitely one of those words, because if it means honorable and integrity, honest, grave, yeah, and that's Hades and hell. See, okay, well, I will go into it deeper. Time breaks back to the Hebrew word eth, which I thought kind of sounds like eighth, but eth, which is now, when, after. Yeah, that seems like time. Or it's the now moment, right? We've got to remember now I want to say this without offending you or insulting our race, right? But we have de-evolved through our English language, and I can show you that through time, through eth, right? Okay, then eth breaks back and came from a word odd. It's pronounced odd, O-D-D, but it's written A-D, ad, or we would pronounce it ad, but it's pronounced odd in Hebrew, which means eternity, perpetually, a world with no end. So I'm just thinking about that concept of time and how odd. That's the when it gets all broken back is the final first word, odd. That we don't think of time as a world with no end. In fact, our concept of time makes us fear death, doesn't it? I mean, maybe. Anyway, well, I got through one little part of my thing. Moon is one of my favorites. I looked up moon, astrologer, star, sun, moon. Now this is going to be very rough. I'm going to have to show you what it is. But ruach is the Hebrew word, to smell or to touch. And savor, to stink. Savor. Savior and savor are two very, very close words that are used in the Bible. And and if you think of our Savior is to smell, to stink, interesting. Then we go to the old, you know what, I'm not going to share that note because I don't know exactly where it goes. Now, sun is to be brilliant. And I didn't write down. East is the house, rock, family, and temple. See, you can tell by the way, when we break it back to the Hebrew, how our words have been discombobulated or misunderstood, basically. The name of a gate at Jerus, Shenmesh. That's the sun. Star. This one is good, guys. Breaks back, and I'm sorry I don't have the word. Thoughts. New thoughts. Stars are thoughts. I think it was one of my grandbabies that said, wow, no wonder there are so many of them. You know, and I believe kids see more of them than we do, you know. Pisseth. If you break the word pisseth back, I didn't write down the Hebrew word, but it is to make water. Wine. Fat. The word fat isn't used in the New Testament. I thought that was pretty interesting. Egypt. You break the word Egypt back, and it is tsuor. T-S-O-O-R. Tsuor. Lay siege. Put in bags. Wow, that gets really, really, really deep when you start looking back the words that we use and the words we're looking at these ancient old things and putting time on them, and the time is possibly what limits us in the circle, in my humble judgment, or what I can't think of the word. I broke up back the word ice. I didn't write the Hebrew word down. Bald, smooth, to make self bald, to depilate. I wrote this down, a quote from the Bible, and his raiment was white as snow. It's in Matthew 28:3. So I looked up raiment, and that's how it goes. It just goes from one to the next. Then I read a passage. Oh, wow, there's another word. And then I look up that word. And it's really, really fun. But I'm thinking of taking... let me see if I can show you this. Anyway. Making somehow maybe a painting, a watercolor, or somehow get the word, a wall full of words. I don't know how. I don't know how to put these ducks in a row, you know, so that we can have a conversation about it that makes sense. But I know I keep talking about doing it. The first word I want to show you is circle, because it's only used once. And the second word I want to do is heaven, and it's used between 300 and 500 times, I think, in the Bible. I counted them, but then I don't remember the number. So, you know, working, guys. I so appreciate you and the work you're doing. I saw I'm going to talk about somebody here for a minute. I saw a guy I interviewed a couple times yesterday on Mark Sargent's program and Nathan Oakley's in the UK channel. Wait just a minute. Dave, I think his name is Dave, but I can't remember anyway, Dave has done some urine fasts that I am just so intrigued by, and breatharian fasts, because I'm having a little trouble eating, and I have a feeling it isn't about eating. I mean, the thoughts and pressure come from everywhere else but within me to eat. I don't get hungry. And anyway, I am very glad for, very grateful is the word, I think, to be able to hear inspiration from you guys. I also listened to a girl I'm very intrigued about, her thoughts about AIDS. It's blowing my mind because they're very similar to a lot of thoughts I have about cancer, AIDS, colds, flu. There are so many things, illnesses that, shoot, look at the advertising. Odd. Look at the advertising, and a lot of it instills fear thoughts about disease and illness, and oh, well, don't worry, you can come to us and get some drugs. You know, we are the glorified drug dealers of the human race. The doctors I'm talking about. Did I just say that? Anyway, I better shut this off. I am glad to see you guys. I love you guys so much. You mean the world to me. I mean it. Hope your day's going great. Bye.